Hi, this is Lenny Nuccio with Bottom Line Results Corporation, and I'm here today with John Barnes with City National Bank. And John, a lot of people, you've seen probably hundreds, they want to get financing for their business and they come to the bank and they get shot down. What are some of the top reasons why that seems to happen?
Yeah. Probably the biggest reason that happens, the most common reason, is when the borrower or the person requesting the lending comes in with really not having the ability to articulate what the amount is going to be used for and how they came up with that amount in the first place.
So it could look at times like they're sort of pulling a number out of the sky and can't really explain it.
Exactly, and that's not the way to come and ask a banker for money.
Right. So definitely want to be prepared.
Correct.
How about some of the other things that you may have seen out there?
Well, additionally, behind the business, there's always going to be the entrepreneurs behind the business. And oftentimes you're going to have to need personal guarantees from the individual, because sometimes the business is not necessarily functioning at full profitability. And if that's the case, then we're not saying no to the deal instantly. We want to try to find a way to make it happen. But in order to get your banker comfortable doing that, you really may need to put skin in the game. The individuals behind it may have to give a personal guarantee. So if they're not willing to do that, that's going to be a problem. Because ultimately, you got to ask yourself the question: if I don't believe in it enough to put my neck on the line, how do I expect my banker to do that as well?
So just being enthusiastic about a great idea and all their friends think it's a great idea.
Not good enough. Yeah, not good enough.
Okay. What else have you seen in all your experience, John?
Probably I would say the next most important thing that people very rarely come in with would be a business plan. A good, solid business plan that kind of lays out where you've come from, where you're going, and how you're going to get there. And again, that's just another way of really convincing the banker that is going to be giving you this lending, that you have a solid plan, you have steps in place, you know exactly where you're going. And if you're going to convince a banker to give you money, you really need to be able to demonstrate that you have a set plan and you're prepared to follow it.
So the more prepared someone would be, it looks like, still a judgment call, I suppose, on your part or the bank's part, but if they look prepared, they've done their homework, they've got supporting documentation, chances are more likely they may get what they came for.
Yeah, what you're doing is you're convincing the banker of your vision, and that's the way to do it.
Great. Are there other things that you've seen fairly commonly?
Probably the next biggest problem that I've seen is when we're gathering financial data behind the request. We're going to request tax returns and the financial statements of the business, assuming they've been in business for a while. And oftentimes those two pieces of information don't sync up, they don't match. And that's a big red flag for us. If that information doesn't match, we can understand that maybe one's on an accrual basis and the other's on a cash basis. However, we're going to need to have explanations. If those two don't match up, then it's going to raise red flags. And so when people come in like that, that happens all too often, to be honest with you. So that's probably the next biggest problem.
So if there are some irregularities, it would be good that the business owner have an explanation, because things can't happen, but they should know why it happened, how it's going to be fixed.
Right. We're not asking the person to request the credit to be able to foresee all of the problems, and that's what we're there for. We're there to help them see through that and do the initial review and be a true consultant. But there are some logical things. When numbers don't tie out that you're reporting to the government on your tax returns, if they don't tie out to your financial statements, just be prepared to explain why.
Right. Most of this sounds pretty common sense, but yet you still see it a lot.
Absolutely.
Is there one more that you might touch on before we have to go?
Absolutely. The last one I can think of is when people are coming in asking for credit when the business really hasn't even started yet. On brand new startup businesses, that's not necessarily a bad thing. However, we really do like seeing that all the necessary filings with the state have been filed, and that we have a business that is going, it's moving forward. And there are definite plans to be a profitable business. If you haven't even filed with the Secretary of State of California and got your business license and on active status with them, it might be too early. It might be too early to necessarily come in and ask your banker for a large sum of money.
So again, there should be some possible contact or customer lists or possibly some revenue streams that they've already produced.
Yeah.
And that would at least go a little further in helping them get it.
Exactly. And from the logical standpoint, if you think about all the 5 things that we just talked about, they really all kind of intertwine with each other.
Sure.
Because if you've got a good business plan, all that stuff is really going to fall in. If your financial information all matches, it's all going to fall in. If you've already filed with the state and got your active business license, a lot of that stuff is going to be, natural for you. It's going to come together.
And it shows a level of seriousness too,
Exactly.
business owners.
And then you're going to make your banker feel much more comfortable with giving you that money.
And we want comfortable bankers.
Absolutely, you sure do. In today's world especially.
Thanks, John, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And if you have any further questions, please give us a call at 949-788-2998 or check out our website at www.bottomlineresultscorp.com. Thank you.